I'll be standing in for him. Basically, this is the module that I'm supposed to be taking you through. But anyway, it is one and the same thing. So instead of you meeting me on the other side, you might as well just meet me now. Then we roll on. So, because this is our module web development that we're supposed to be covering week 6, before even you learn week 6, you're going to find out that, let me go back. You're going to find out that week 5, document object model rolls over to week 6, which you're seeing here. And because due to people not understanding document object model, it is easier when you understand DOM, then it becomes much easier for you to understand event handling. So you might see that I'm trying to combine the weeks. So for now, those who are raising up their hands, please just put them down. I'm going to open a forum for that later on. And of course, for those who don't know, I've been preaching this all day, house rules. I'm going to be disabling the chats, as you can see now, disabling the Q&A, disabling a few things so that we can focus on class. Then from time to time, I'll be releasing them, putting them on, getting a feedback. I think that is how we can be able to work really well. So you might see that I'm trying to combine DOM. After learning DOM, which is going to be intensive a bit today, we will do interactive, that's JavaScript event handling next week, or not next week, this Wednesday. But the problem is that this Wednesday I'll be in HQ conducting a masterclass. So no issues, no problem. We'll see how to work on that. We still have next week on Monday, I can do event handling and advanced JavaScript, then we can wrap it up. Then on Wednesday of the same week, next week, we can finalize on the final project and deployment, which is not even essentially a module or a week that we can be able to cover, but something that to paraphrase through. Anyway, the recording for the first 2 sessions, which are similar, by the way, which are similar, but if you just want to see more, you can just go and find them on the LMS. I've just pushed them right now. Even for this one now, I'm going to do it the same. So today I'm going to cover loops, JavaScript loops, and I'm going to cover DOM, two things. Why am I covering that? Because if you go to week 5 recording, you're going to find out the catch-up class that I did for JavaScript introduction up to a point whereby I said that I'm going to continue with JavaScript loops in the next class. So if you want to do a catch-up for JavaScript, just go there. We have done JavaScript intensively for almost 3 hours, just doing JavaScript. Then after that, now we want to get to loops. After loops, we go to DOM. After DOM, then we can close the session. Then we can go and sleep. It's been a very busy day, intensive at least. So let me go to my code editor, which is VS Code. Okay, this is a repo I'll be sharing from time to time. So just be on standby. The session is being recorded after all. So when you talk about loops, essentially, what does it mean or what comes to mind? So before even that, let me clear this. Disabling this is going to help me really well. And I don't know how to be able to disable also that one. Hold on a bit. Mhm. Just hold on a bit. I'm trying to disable something here. Okay, okay, okay. Yep, perfect. Yeah, so I've disabled hand raising for now. I'm going to enable it, no worries, but you can react. Reaction now, it is fully available. I just need fully participation, fully attentiveness. No, no biggie, no biggie. So when we're talking about loops, I've been talking about this thing for a while. And when you want to repeat tasks, you want to automate tasks that don't want to do each and every time, like counting 1 to 10, 1 to 100, counting 1 to a million. You don't want to do this thing manually. So that is where loops comes in. And because we are speaking in the context of JavaScript, we have JavaScript loops and we have types of loops within JavaScript. So allow me to create a file here called loops.js. And then we have several types. So I'm going to start with the first type, which is for loop. I know some of you already know this. We have already covered, but as part of just for those who don't understand JavaScript, might as well help you. So this is the common type of loop that we normally use. It is commonly used when you know exactly how many iterations you need to complete that loop. So it is simple. So to get at it, this is how you do the syntax. So you start by for, you do initialization, then you put semicolon, then you put condition, then you put iteration. You can say iteration or just increment slash decrement. And then from there, you can now put your code here, code execution. Just simple as that. So for you to achieve that, let us do a good example. So we just write a for loop. We say this for loop has to have let a equals, let's put it at 1. You're starting at 1, then you can say this a should be less than or equals to 20, and then a has to have an increment of 2. So an increment of 2. You can just write it as that. Then after that, um, this is showing that we are starting from 1. The condition is we are starting from 1, but the condition has to be we are going up to 20, but A has to be less than or equals to 20. So it can only be below 20 or 20, and it's starting from 1. So it's sort of a range that you're giving at that range. And then when starting from 1, each iteration should go to a notch higher by 2. So when you start by 1, you go to 2, you go to 3, you go to 5, you go to 7, and so on. So console.log. Then I'm using backticks. Backticks, the one that is below your escape button, the button that is below there. So you can now say, let's say, counter number. Then you can now put that one. It's called something, it's called template literal. It is normally used when you are trying to do dynamics. When you want to do dynamics in JavaScript, it's accompanied by that, then you can put your A. Then when you close it, let us try and run it. So we can come here, and run it. So node evening loop, that is what you can have. So remember, we increment by 2. So 1 add 2, that is 3, add 2, 5, 7, 9, 11, 13, 15, 17, and 19. But it cannot go to 20 because when you add 19, when you add 2 to 19, it gives you 21. But that's not what our condition is talking about. So we cannot go beyond that. So this is increment. Ideally, you can be able to count, but there's no need. You can just even put the 20 million. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. But JavaScript is a language that, let us try and run that. So as you can see, it is running, it's counting up to 20 million. It's counting up to 20 million. So as it does that, this is automation that you're talking about. Instead of counting 1, 1, 1 until you're done, you can just write a small loop that is going to do all of that until it is done. So right now, I think it is at 5 million. So it is JavaScript, it is not that fast. We have other languages that can count 100 million in like 2 seconds. Those are like C, C++, Rust, and Go. But JavaScript and Python are at the bottom of the list, so they're not that powerful. So we can stop this. Let me put a smaller number of 200,000. Then you can get it done really quick, just like that. So having these numbers count itself is easier. Now, let us do another one. Let me reduce the number here a bit. So ideally, the normal number, 200, get 199. Now, let us go and do another one. So this is for loop, very simple, direct. Now, let us do a while loop. So just to reiterate, checks the condition before running. While loop, on the other case, it is normally used when you don't know the exact number of iterations that you're going to do. So you don't know the exact number of iterations that you're going to do in advance. That's why you're able to use while loop. So let me comment this console out. So while loop. So for while loop, you might as well just start by initializing count equals to 2. And then you can say now while, then you give your condition. So while this is the case, while is less than 10, what you can say is, let us print something. So console.log, then backticks, counting numbers, counting number. I can put the same thing that we did, then we say count. So we can print this one, but now let us do the iteration. So count, we can add increment by 1. Now, why am I saying you don't know the exact number? Because as you can see here within, you don't have initialization. You don't have, what do you call, things that can tell us where to start and where to finish. So we have it declared outside. So outside the loop, which is a global. So you never know what this one might present. So that's why you're talking about that. So we can print it. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, same case. And you're there. You can put here less than, then you can print up to 10 if you want to. That is while loop. 2 loops down, a few to go. So we have a brother to this while loop called do while loop. So this do while loop, what essentially it does is very simple. It is similar to while loop, except it runs at least once. Through the class today I've been talking about, you shoot first, you ask questions later. Or you throw a punch first, then you ask questions later. So this is what do while does. So same case, you can just initialize. So you come and say let num equals to 10. And then you shoot first, which is do this. So console.log number. Then for this number, we can put something like that, num. We can put num, and then we put a conditional, so we can say, let us do a decrement of 2. Let us do a decrement of 2. Then we say while. So you shoot first. So the first round, we just throw a punch. Then after checking the condition, you can now You can now run the others based on the condition. So it is going to run at least once before checking that. So it's going to go for the first loop, then it's going to check the condition, then it's going to adhere to that condition as it does the rest. So just to show you an example, it's something like that. So we are shooting first 10, but then we realize that, okay, we know we are supposed to decrement 10, 8, and so on, but the furthest we can go, it is something that is greater than 0, but not equals to 0. So we go 8, 6, 4, 2, but cannot go 0 because our number after the iteration should not be equals to 0, only greater than 0. So we should first ask questions later. Now, let us do another one. So this one is a bit weird. It's called for loop. It is called for off loop. So I was giving an example. Let's say you're a Supreme Court, you have the judges on bench. You can address them, how? My lord, right? So lord among the lords. So all these judges, you can address them, my lord. So if you want to pick one at a time, you can say Lord of Lords. Just like how Christians do or say. They say Lord of Lords, King of Kings. So Lord among the lords, King among the kings. You see? Now, it's not funny. Okay, so we give an example of fruits. Fruits, we give an example here. You can come and say apple. Come and say banana. You come and say mango. We come and say cherry. Come and say we come and say orange. Now, with all of these lists that you have created for bananas, for fruits, we can come and say, that one. Now, this is a basket called fruits, and inside that basket, you have several fruits. So inside this array, we can come quietly and say, we want to loop through all of them. So we can say for const. So we can say fruits. So fruit. So fruit among the fruits. So fruit of fruits. Same thing. So fruit among the fruits. And then we can go down and print that particular fruit. So in each iteration is going to print a fruit. Just like that. Each iteration is going to print a fruit. So with this, we can be able to print apple, then we're done. We go to the next iteration, we print that one, we print that one. So there's no condition as long as what you're printing is available. Now, we will show that, you can just run that. So apple, banana, mango, cherry, orange. And they are printing in that order. Let me try something here. It's not going to work. There's something that I saw somewhere, but seems that I didn't understand it well. But anyway, so this one, what is the function of for loops? Function of for loops, it is used to iterate over iterable objects. We talk about objects, it's talking about a list where you have a list, we have a string, something that you can take apart and iterate over through that. That's what we use it for. Now, let us go for another one called for in. Of course, this one you can also add one more thing, which is you can print a string. You can just take your name, then you can list each letter. A good example is that you can just say, const greetings, greeting, then you say the greeting is hello, just like that. And then you can come and say for const, then you can say character, each and every character in that greeting of greeting. And then peacefully, you can come and print now all of it. So you can say character. And then when I comment that and print that out, you can see hello being listed really well that way. So that's a good example. Let us handle last one, which is called for in. For in, then I can allow questions for like two people, then can jump on the next part. Now for in loop, it is very simple. How this one happens is when you're working with an object, I give this example that people should really understand. Kindly pay attention to this one, it's really critical. When you're talking about describing something, I'm describing you as a person. You as a person, you have a name, first name, last name, age, you have country of origin, and so on. So all of these are properties within you. So they are in you, they are describing who you are. You can go and buy a computer in a shop. Then when you go to that computer shop, you request for certain computer specs. You want a computer that has 8 GB of RAM, a computer that has 512 SSD of storage and NVMe. You can request that I want something that is HP brand. It is touchscreen, 180, flapping. But all of these are inside that. So you're describing it within. That's why for in comes in. So let us declare something here shortly. Let me just bring this one, a good example that I was using earlier. Now, why are we saying these properties? We are saying object because in an object, we talked about object when you talk about things like, let me bring it up, variables. So when you talk about variables, after variables, we talked about data types, right? So in data types, we have two categories. We have two types. We have primitive data types, which include string, number, boolean, null, symbol, undefined, and so on. But then we have non-primitive data types, which we have objects and we have arrays. So what are objects? Objects, as you can see here, is a collection of key value pairs. So this one is a key and this one is a value. So they have to match together. They have to sync in together. You cannot say first name, then you put 30. Then you say a student, then you put do. Then you say last name, then you come and put false. No, they have to sync together. They have to match. They have to work together. So key value pair, this has to matter. I'm going to tell you why in a short while. So first John, first name, not first John. First name goes with John, age goes with 30. So key value pair, key and value, key and value, key and value, they have to pair. That's an object. So how do you iterate through that object? A good example on how you can be able to use this kind of loop is when you're querying data from the database. You are trying to take data from the database. This is how you can be able to bring them out. Because when somebody signs up in your database, you can be able now to check in that database and find how to bring it out using JavaScript. Not always SQL works. So you can bring it out using JavaScript. Then you can now bring it line by line. So this is person A, their details. Person B, their details. So without wasting time, let us jump on it. So same thing, same syntax, except here, we are saying that in this object, an object contains properties. So an object contains properties. So we can come and say properties. So for const property in, so this property is found within that object. So within that object, so up. So you initialize const property in person. Then you can come and say something like console log. So let me comment this. So console log, you do the same thing. But in this case, watch carefully. So in this case, we want first to print the property. So we want to print the key. We always start with the key. So we start with the key. So the key in this case is property because it's found there. But now that property has a value. So for you to print a value, because when I print this one right now, it's going to only give me the key, but not the values for this thing. So they have to match. So how do I print first name, the value, last name, the value, job, the value? How do I do that? So for me to achieve that, you have to know how to tap into that. Like there's a way that you can be able to access it. So it is this one that takes the name of the key property. But now this one, what you're seeing here, we want to bring a way to give the value associated with that key. So associated to this key, how do we do that? So we come and say, same thing, we come and say person, then we put square bracket, then property. So in this case, we are able to associate value and key. So master this one because you can be able to change and morph it from time to time to suit your needs. So let us see how it is printing. Just like that. So you can see we have first name, matching, last name, and so on. We can do a lot with just that. So first iteration runs, prints that one. Second, prints that one, and so on until it is done. So kindly master that one. Now, that one is 4 in. I think we are done with loops. I just wanted to give that short. And just to make sure that you guys really focus on that, go and take a look at control statements in loops. Go and take a look at things like looping through arrays, nested loops, performance consideration, and so on. You're going to find more insights that you may think of because it is really simple. It is not rocket science. Okay, so let me do this. Let me allow questions. Let me allow questions. Let me also enable the chats. Have we understood so far? Give me reactions, or you can raise up your hand. Marvelous. Am I audible? Kindly, Shadrach, you can increase your speaker volume. The code, I'm going to share the link for the repo after the class is done. Okay, so allow me to proceed to the next step, which is the main agenda. I really wanted to jump on this wagon really fast because it takes a lot of time. Because it is called document object model. Trying to explain it really takes a lot of time. Somebody saying that I've been so low. Yeah, okay, it is the evening. So just understand, please, that it has been a long day. I've been in class teaching the same thing over and over. My ribs are cracking right now. Beatrice, it is Banis. Banis, how are you? And please, before Banis talks, please don't ask any questions about the assignments, the group assignments. That one I already addressed. You can ask your colleagues. They're going to give answers to that. Yes, Banis.
My question is,
Yes.
I'm not able to run my code to see how yours are coming up.
Have you installed Node.js?
No.
So you need to install Node.js in your computer. If you're using Windows, just go on the browser, browse Node.js for Windows. Install it, learn how to install it. Because it is very crucial for you to use Node.js. Node.js is not a framework. Node.js is not a language. Node.js is a runtime environment for JavaScript. You cannot run JavaScript without it. So yeah. So go and do that kindly.
All right, thanks.
Somebody is asking why I declare variables in constant. Um, How declare variables? This is very simple. I'm trying to see how to answer this. Yet I've already explained. Let is for mutability, const is for immutable. So that's why if you want to declare variables that you want to modify later on, please use let. If you don't want to modify them later or change anything, use const. Yeah, we use that one. That is when I was telling you to go and check about control statements. One of the things that you're going to find in control statements is break and continue. And looping through arrays, you're going to find how you can be able to use the normal loop and how you can be able to use for each. So that's an assignment. I don't want to cover that. Remember, I'm just giving you a portion to accelerate you, so for you to get to the petrol station quicker. We are not using verb, please. Let me disable the charts and go to the next session. People are trying to bring me back to the beginnings of JavaScript. We already done that. Go to catch-up classes. Let me direct you. Go to the catch-up classes on week 5. You're going to find the catch-up class of what we did last time. Let me see here. Okay. So when you navigate, where is it? Go to week 5, class recordings. Go and find this recording here. And please download it because in a couple of weeks it's going to be taken down, or it's going to be unavailable. So go and find the introductions to JavaScript here, or you can also come here. But we did that specifically intensively in the catch-up class. Anyway, let me go back to where I was. So this is loops. Let me commit this one. If you check your WhatsApp announcement, you're going to find this link, the GitHub link that I sent earlier today. You're going to find the link that I sent out today. Anyway, let me continue. So let's jump on the best part of the class, which is called document object model. This is a very interesting part, which you're supposed to take in keen interest to that. Document object model. So when you're talking about DOM, in a nutshell, just a basic definition is that for you to understand DOM, you have to know that document object model, or DOM, represent the HTML document as a tree. It represents HTML document as a tree of objects that JavaScript can manipulate. So as soon as you work on your HTML is going to be compiled to JavaScript, a big object that JavaScript can be able to manipulate. So what is DOM essentially? DOM is a programming interface for web documents, number one. It is there to represent the pages so that JavaScript can modify its structures, the style, and the content. And number three, DOM is organized in a tree structure where each node is an object representing a part of the document. Let me visualize this, show you a visualize of that. Take, for example, what you're seeing here below, the dark theme as a HTML, right? So when you put it on the browser, this is how it is going to look like. This is how it's going to look like. This is now DOM, document object model, whereby you have HTML as the parent, then you have it splitted into categories. So you have the head, you have the body. You can have the text. So this text that you're seeing here is the doc type. So having that head, have that body. For the body, you can have every element that is visually available for web development document. But for the head, this is where you put your meta tags and everything pertaining to that, even the title. So this is how JavaScript sees your HTML. It has to compile it to a way it can be able to manipulate it. So this is DOM when somebody asks you. So how does it work? Essentially, when your browser loads HTML, the browser creates a DOM tree like this one from this HTML, as you can see here. JavaScript then is able to access and manipulate this tree while it is in this state. Then we have the changes. So changes to the DOM are reflected in the web page directly. So when you make a change to this DOM, which is something like this, you are able to see the changes directly. So how do you access? We start by learning how to access DOM elements, document object model elements. So here I'm going to say DOM.js. So how do you access? So for you to access them, you access them in like multiple ways. So there's by ID way. So you come and say const. Guys, just hold on a bit. I'm going to come back. Close a window here. Okay, I'm back. So, I thought I paused the recording. I paused the sharing. Anyway. Oh, yeah. Anyway, yeah. So, you start by, this is how you select elements. So selecting elements with the ID patch on it. So come and say element ID. You can come, this is just a variable by the way. This is just a variable. Document dot get element by ID. Then you can now put your ID inside here. My element. Now, after that, we can say, how do you access by class? So by class name. So by class name, you just come and say const element class so that you can be able to differentiate them. So document dot get element by class name. Then you can have your fun there. So you can say my class. Then we can say, we have another way, which is by tag name. You can tag it, you can access it by the element, HTML element tags directly. So you can come and say const, something like paragraphs. What am I doing? By tag name. So const, paragraphs. If you want to access them by tag name, you can just do it directly. Get element by tag name, then you can access that particular tag, like paragraph. That's how you access it. Then we have another way, which is a modern approach, which is by using query selectors. So query selectors. So query selectors, these are like more of Java, CSS. So what they do basically is you can just say you access them via CSS. So element document dot query selector. Then because it's an ID, you can access it by ID. So in CSS, this is how you do IDs, right? So you say hash my element that's representing an ID, and I'm going to spot a difference between an ID and a class, because that is where so many people go wrong. That is where so many people go wrong. After that, we can have another one, which is query selector also. Elements role, so document dot query selector all. You can say dot my class, something like that. So this is how you access them. So by ID, you can access them by class name, by tag name, by query selector or query selector all. So these ones affect CSS, HTML, and these ones affect CSS. Now, let us do a sample of example. We want to do an example. This example essentially is going to help us understand the difference between ID and a class. As far as selecting elements, what you're talking about here is concerned. So how do we do that? So we come here and say index, just say dom.html. Then you come and say HTML5. Now from here on, guys, you're spinning things. So we can come here and do heading tags. So H1, we say hello, right? Then within that, you can put ID. So this ID is going to be main title. Main title. We're just creating normal HTML tags. So paragraphs, let me put some space for paragraph. We are going to, this is how I do it in a shortcut. I want two of them. So what will I do? So p.info is going to bring me two. So it is going to be, this is a paragraph. This is a paragraph. And then I can just copy that one and modify it here. This is another paragraph. So let us run this. So this is what you're saying here. This is what you're saying. Hello, this is a paragraph, this is another paragraph. So how do we differentiate between ID and a class? How do we do that? So you're going to find that H1 has an ID of main title, but the two paragraphs, they have both class called info. So they're the same. So how does HTML or how does JavaScript access or know which one is which? It is very simple. Now, for me, I want to use something called internal, what is it called? Internal JavaScript. So whereby you can just say, let me start by selecting elements. Then I'm going to say const. So I'm talking about title, right? So title equals to document. Exactly what you have done here. So it's an ID. If it's an ID, we use this methodology. Get element by ID, then we denote the ID that we want to target from HTML. So dot get element by ID, then we say the ID that you're targeting is called main title. So we come and say main title. And then we can print that one. So let us try and print that on the browser. Remember, we can always use JavaScript here, or we can just use JavaScript on the console. So when you right click on your page, And then you go to inspect element, then console. This is where you want to see it. So let us see it in action. So you can come back console.log. So in here, you can just say title, just like that. So when I come here, refresh, you can see we only have one title, and that title is hello, like it is printing hello. As you can see here in HTML in a text, it is only printing hello. If you can have multiple titles here, it is going to pick main. Let's say, for example, I come and copy this, I duplicate it right here. Then I say hello PLP. So it is not the same because the uniqueness, when you are working with ID, one ID, one item. Just like when you are owning an identification number, you are not sharing with that any other person that number. It is only you. Same case, one ID, one thing, or one ID, one item, or one tag. Not as class. Class, it can be one class, several items. It is shareable. So let us see if this one works. So I'm expecting to see this one. I'm expecting to see two, hello and this one. But when I refresh, I only see one. Which one? For H1. But you can say, let us change this one to H2. Change this one to H2. When I refresh, we don't have. And as you can see, we still have hello. We don't have hello PLP. That is not in our playbook. Simple. So one ID, it is very unique. That's why I was not mistaken by writing here element. Don't worry about this one, but it is query selector. Only one. So it's an ID. But query selector all for a class. You should know that very much. Now, let us see these ones. Let me now spot a difference with the others because we have this paragraph. Let me see if it's going to print too. So I might go and do this and comment that one, then declare this one. So paragraphs, then I'm going to say document dot get element by class name, get element by class name. Then the class name is what? Info. So let me print it. So I can come here and say console.log. Then you can say paragraphs. So what I expect to see this one. So how do you access them? How do you access them? So let me see if this one is going to work. Yeah, it is working. So how is it, how am I able to only see this is a paragraph? Let me remove this one. So in this case, it's going to print the two of them. P info. So there are two, HTML collection, there are two. We have this one and this one. And as you can see, we have arrays. We have index 0, we have index 1. So which one comes first? So line 13 is the one that comes first, which is, this is a paragraph. So you expect it to be index 0. So we expect when you go inside here and check, you see this is a paragraph. Simple. So we expect the other one to be, you can come and check and see, this is another paragraph. But if I want to print specific one, I want to see this one, only this one. Or I want to see only this one. So how do I do that? I can just come here and put that index. Just like that. I can do that. Or if I don't want to put it there, I can just come and put it just beside here. It is going to work regardless, as you can see. I'm now able to see only one, which is, this is a paragraph. I'm not going to see the other one. Yet I'm printing all of them. I can change this one to 1. Then it is going to see, I'm going to see this is another paragraph right here. Thumbs up if you've understood that point. The difference between ID and a class. Give me a thumbs up or thumbs down if you've not understood, but don't worry. Floating is constant. Now, let us go to the next part. Now that we have understood that, I think now we are good to go. Because that part normally confuses a lot of people. Now, people, I want to jump to the next big things, then we can close the session down. We have talked about all of this, but now there are two major things about DOM that when you understand them, you are good now. Two main topics. Topic number one is called modifying DOM elements. So once you have selected the elements, you can modify them in various ways. Way number one, you can change the content of HTML from JavaScript. You can change the attributes. You can change the CSS style. Yeah, I'm telling you the truth. You can style your HTML using JavaScript. You think that I'm lying, you're going to see. We can even bet right now. Or betting is not good. We can modify the classes. We can create new elements from nowhere. We can add elements that are not there. We can remove elements. So after doing those two things, which is modifying DOM elements, and number two, creating and removing elements, we can close down the session. So let us jump on that horse right now. So you can come and say index.html. You can come and say, let me find it. Where did I put it? So modifying elements. So here you can come and say, let me just close that one. So HTML5. So here you can come and say DOM modifying. So this is what we want. Now we can peacefully just do a simple project. This project is going to perform the following. In this project, we are going to show you how to modify a text content. We are going to show you how to, when we talk about modify, we already have an original one, so you want to update it. We are going to show you how to manage attributes, how to modify styles, how to modify classes. So here's a clean project. So in here, we are going to put our HTML first. So HTML, let us say H1, then say this one is original title. And then we can come and say this is AMG. So AMG, let me bring in the one that I used, the PLP logo. Right there. Right there, the alternative, which is if it doesn't load PLP logo, then the width, let us give the width around, let me think, 550 pixels. Let's give the height around 280 pixels. How are we doing? Yeah, you're doing great. And then what else? So that one is the image. Let us do another one, which is a paragraph. Let me separate them so we can be able to see it clearly. So for the paragraph, the same trick, info multiplied by 2. Then this is going to be paragraph 1. This one is going to be paragraph 2. And then what we have next, we can have an anchor tag. So this anchor tag, we can say, let us just put it as that. And then you can say old, you can say PLP link, PLP website. So let us put now the, what do you call the ID? So we can come and say ID. We can call this one main title. And then we can come and put ID here. We can call this main image. We already have classes here. We can come and put another one here called main link. Yeah. So with that, we are able to see something like this. So don't worry, with this, we are going to change a lot. We are going to change a lot. So just hold on. Just put on your seatbelt. Now we are going to use something called internal JavaScript. So for internal JavaScript, you're able to code while seeing how it impacts our HTML. So first things first, we select elements. Elements. That is the first thing when you do or when you think about the OM. So you come and say const, let us do title. Document. So for the title, it's get element by ID, but we're talking about main title. Man, I'm so tired. Then we can come and say, let us do another one, const. Then we do image, document. This image is still get element by ID. Then you can say it is for the main image, right? Beautiful. Now, as you can see, clean code. Let us do for the paragraph. For the paragraph, you have to, don't worry, just do one. Const, paragraphs, then you can say document dot get element by class name. We have several, so I'm just going to choose all of them. So when you say info, without putting this thing out here, index 0 or 1, you just try to pick all of them together. You're not selective. Then let us do another one, the last one, which is a link. So const, you say link equals document dot get element by ID. We're talking about main link. Simple. Now, with that, we have already selected our elements. Let us proceed to the next step. Let us proceed to the next step, which is we are talking about modifying now. So when you talk about modifying, let me put this one like modifying UM elements. This is now where it kicks off. This is now where it kicks off. So pay attention. So we are going to start with the first one. So number one, changing content. When you want to change content. And here I'm going to address something about cybersecurity. So we have two ways whereby you can use in JavaScript to modify content in HTML. We have the first method, which is using text content, and you have the second method, which is in HTML. So which one is safe? In HTML is not safe because you are telling a hacker, this is the element that we are using here, a paragraph or a header. So it is not safe because there's an attack called cross-site scripting, XSS. It is not safe. That's why you resort to using text content, because text content doesn't know if it is a paragraph, it is a header, it's just changing the content, not focused on the tags. Now, so we come and we want to change our title. So text content, that's how we do it. So remember our title, this is our original title, right? But I want to run another one. I'm going to say updated PLP evening, blah, blah, just blah, blah, blah. When you see, that's our title. I've not touched HTML. I've not touched HTML. So how is it working? This title variable, it is linked here to the main title, which we can be able to borrow here. So it's a string connected to here, then connected to here. So we are able to modify it like that using this text content. Let us do another one. So this one is the safest way, using text content. But we have another way which also works, which is called in HTML. So I can be able to modify that using the paragraphs. So I want to target the first paragraph. I want to target paragraph 1 to change the content or to change how it is looking like. So how am I going to do that? I say paragraph, then I call the index. Now I'm able now to call the index not here, but here. I want to change the first one. So the first one is index 0. Then I say dot inner HTML. So from here, I can be able now to put to, let's say I want to change it to be bolder. So I can say strong, or even I can just come and say H1. I want that paragraph to turn to be H1. So I can come here and say paragraph 1 is now a header. Then you just close it the normal way, H1. So let us see how it looks like. There you go. Paragraph 1 is now a header. It was now a paragraph, but now it's a header. Simple. But this one is not the safest way. As you can see, you are tapping into the elements. So a hacker, imagine I'm a hacker, I can be able to come and change this one. You know in your mind that this one is a paragraph, but I can manipulate you to think that this one is a header or this one is a link, or even hide. If this one is a link, I can remove it and put my own information using in HTML. That one is part of cybersecurity, something called cross-site scripting, XSS. I've done cybersecurity as a degree in campus, so I know. So we have another one, which is changing attributes. Attributes. So when you talk about attributes, something like an image, you see this image. In this image, you have an attribute for this image called SRC. You have alternative like alt. You have width. You have height. These are attributes within that element. So you can modify them. You can change this source. You can change this source. For example, let me bring another one here and put it here. So I can want to change that attribute, even change everything. So for example, I can just come and print something like old img, something like that. Then I can say for that image, I can say, let us say, first of all, fetch that attribute. So we fetch that attribute, we target a specific one. So we are targeting what? We are targeting SRC, the source. So we are getting, after fetching it, let us now set a new one that we want. So set attribute. So to set the attribute, we just use the one that you targeted, and then you put a new one. So here I can be able to come and put that one there. We initially know that we have this. We know that we have this, but I can change this one to now come and have something different. Let me see why it is not responsive. And no worries, yeah, it is not responsive, but I want this one now to show this. It is going to have a very informal image, looking so funny, but anyway, I'll try to pass a point. When you go to our page, let us see. There you go. I've been able to change it. I've been able to change it. Don't laugh at my image. It's only that it is taking the dimension of the other one. You're going to make me cry. Anyway, so we are not done yet. We can be able to change the link. So this link, initially, we talked about this link. It didn't have anything. You see, this link, it was empty. But how can we be able to come and put something new like the website? So for us to do that, to append it inside here, we can just come and say set attribute. Then I'm going to target the href. For this href, I'm going to put a new value for that, such that next time it is not going to be empty. When I go there, I'm going to find it this way. So as you can see, I can right click and open the website. Simple. Ladies and gentlemen, we have two more so that we can be able to complete this section. Then we go to the last role, then we can call it a night. Now, this one is changing attributes. Let us go to the third one. So the third one. So Here, we can come and declare a few CSS styles, just internal styling. You can come and give a few styling here and say highlight. Let us give a few colors here. Background color. Let us give it green. Let us just give it gray. Yeah, let's give it gray. It is not affecting here right now, but it's going to affect. Let me change the dimensions here. This height should be 350. And this one 350. Should be a square. Yeah. At least I look like somebody. Now, background color, we have gray. Then we have font color, which is, you can do font weight, something heavier. Just put bold. It is not going to affect yet, but you can say, I think that's it for now. Let us try and do a bit of CSS modification. Even without this one, we can still modify. If you don't believe me, let me show you. We can just come and let us just highlight this one, even just remove it. Assume that we don't have any CSS. So we come here, we say CSS, modify. So modify CSS styles. So when somebody tells you that I can style my page using JavaScript, they are not lying. This is what they are talking about. So you can say, you can come and say something like title. I want this title to have a style to have a color. So remember our style, our title doesn't have any color, that updated PLP evening, blah, blah, blah. So we can give it a color of red. There you go, yeah, red. You can come and slap another one, which is title. Give it another color of background. Give it a background color. And choose a background color of gray. Let us do blue. Let us do blue. There you go. It is blinding. Then let us do gray. Gray does it well. Yeah, and then you can change this one to green. Yeah, I'm very poor at coloring. Where's my kindergarten teacher? And let's put another color of what? Let us just do blue. And here you can do light gray. Light gray. There you go, at least. But let's do dark. Okay, anyway, whatever. Let us do a font color. Let us change the font size. So style, font size. Let us make it bigger. Let us use 123 pixels a bit, I think. Wait, it's too much. Okay, let me zoom out the original. It's a bit aggressive. I think that one balances. The colors are so sharp. I'm just trying to prove a point that you can able to do that style. Then border radius. So border radius, let us talk about 20 pixels. There you see, it is not rounded anymore. Even for these images, trust me, even for these images, I can come and take this image and make this image to be round. Here you go. I can come and say image dot style dot border radius. Border radius, then I can do 50%. There you go, 50%. When you do 50%, it makes it to be a circle. Simple. Now, what else? I think we have done pretty much a lot of things. I can even center this thing. Trust me, I can come and say, let me do one more. Image dot style dot align items. Then you can do center. Okay, I think it is align content. Yeah, I don't know. Why is it not going? Align self. Is it going to work? Anyway, I've forgotten. Is it center, center, or center, center? Anyway, doesn't work. I think I've forgotten that command. But I think you're seeing where I'm trying to go. Now, let us do the fourth one, which is, we can say we are trying to modify a class. So to modify a class, we can come and say, remember the one that we did here for highlight. So let me bring it back. Yeah, so we did this one for highlight. Let's try and use it. So we can modify the class, modify classes. Now, to modify classes, very simple. We are trying to modify the classes, so the paragraphs. So paragraphs, we start with the first one, 0. We say, go and scan through the class list. When you find that class list is not there, please add. So what are we adding? So we are adding highlight. So what you are trying to do here essentially is that we are checking, okay, here you don't have highlight, right? So we are trying to add another class here. Already you have a class called info, but we are trying to bring this class called highlight that is pre-written, put it here so that it's going to affect specifically this. So let me see, I've not done it completely. What am I forgetting? Let me see, highlight. You know, typo. Typo is something that really disturbs me. You see, it was a typo there. There you go. So you can see something like that. You can see something like that. So we are trying to add on top things on top of another. You can do class list, add class list, remove class list, toggle, and so on. You can remove a class list if it's already there. You see? You can remove it if it's already there. So, ladies and gentlemen, those are 4 things that you can be able to talk about when you're saying modifying the OM elements. That is changing content, changing attributes, modifying CSS, which is more fun, and modifying classes. Like you can take a class and say, you go there. So you use JavaScript to point to control CSS. You use JavaScript to control HTML. It is that simple. Now, let us do the final, which is now creating and removing elements. You see, we are able to modify, but how about to create it out of nowhere? That's the fun of it. That is now, after doing it, that's how you find React doing things like dynamically. It is that simple. It is that simple, people. Now, so let me see my notes. Okay, we are here. So let me do a small project again. A small project. This project, I'm going to call it dom2.html. I'm going to also just do the same thing here. And then I'm going to say dom create and remove example. So same case, we are going to do the same thing, style and blah, blah, blah. In this case, I'm just going to do random one, just a general one, which is font family. Font family, the usual one. It is Arial sans serif. It should be sans serif, sans serif. Then you can slap a background color there, which is nice. You can put it as black for now. Yeah, they're going to thank me later for that because it's going to turn out amazing. And then I'm going to add one more thing there. Later on, I'm going to think of it as we code. So let us start with the heading. This heading is going to be my shopping list. Pay attention to this one. It is really important as well. It is the most thing that people normally don't get it when it comes to DOM. Then I'm going to do a div. This div, I'm going to leave it empty, but I'm going to put an ID. This ID, I'm going to say this one is called list container. list container, that ID. I'm going to leave it empty for now. Don't worry, I have a plan for it. Now, the plan, we are already done with HTML. So let us see. This was the one that we had earlier. So let me dispose of that, then create a new one. So that's what you're having. So forgot to change this one. So color white. There you go. So my shopping list. Now, so from here, we can be able to declare our internal JavaScript. In here, we can come and say, let us start by creating an element or selecting an element. So first things first, select element, or we can say create. No, this one is not select, it's create. So create, we're talking about creating. So create an element. It's not an element on the periodic table for those who did chemistry, but an element on HTML. We're trying to create a new one. So for us to achieve that, there's a method called create element. So for you to create an element, first of all, let us list or select. So we are selecting list font container. For the container equals to document dot get element by ID. It's an ID essentially. So the ID here in this case, it is this guy. So we can just slap it there, close it. But now this is now the real deal. When I talk about creating an element, let me put this one as first. So when you talk about creating an element, so you select, and then you go, let us create a paragraph. Create a paragraph. So you create a paragraph, you start by, you're trying to create a paragraph like, here is what you need to buy, blah, blah, blah. So you can come and say const, intro paragraph. This was a so low, annoying, right? So document. So take a keen look. We are using create, not the other one. We are not using get element, we're using create element. So this element is able to help us name our element, the type of element that we need to create. Is it a paragraph? You put P. Is it a H1? You put H1. Is it a form? You put form. Just like that. And good thing, if you name it, it's going to come with opening and closing if it has. Simple. Now, after that, after creating that element, it is empty. Let us now put content into that element. So you come and say intro dot text content. Then in this text content, you come and say, like here are some of the items need to buy. Simple. We have already created this, but it's not going to appear here. Why? We have not appended it. So we need to append it. So to append, just like you're stacking plates together, when you're stacking plates together, there's the first one that you started with, then there's the last one. Or if you have put them in a row, horizontally or vertically, the last one, the one that you put, the latest, that one is called appending. You append. When you put it as the first one, it is called prepend. So not the difference. So let us append it. So to append it, you come and take this list count. Yeah, take this list count, then you come and say append child. Append child. So you append to where intro there. There you go. You see, we have created a content out of nowhere. Remember, this is the only thing that we had from HTML. But now we have a content that is here. That is JavaScript. This one is a paragraph, right? Let me turn this one to be a header. So I can just come and change it here to be H1. Then I wait for it. You see, it is refreshing itself. Then we are back in the game. Simple. So let us leave it as H1. Or we can just give it H3 so that it can be a bit smaller. Yeah. Now, we have created an element, but it was a paragraph. Let us leave it as a paragraph for some reason. Now, people, that's the first step. The second step, we can create a list. Yeah, we can create a list. And I'm going to tell you where that is applicable. It is applicable when you're creating an e-commerce, something like Jumia or Amazon. Those items that normally appear there, they appear there because they have been created out of nowhere. So you put an iteration somewhere, a loop, a for loop that is going to check constantly to create spaces for new items that are going to be brought in by API. Then use these things like append child, you create them. So how do you create a shopping list? So a list. Let us create a shopping list because we're talking about shopping lists. So can we come up with this list? So to come up with this list, we are going to start by, of course, shopping list. And then we say document dot, we create an element, remember. So create element, this kind of element that we're talking about, we can use an ordered list, we can use ordered list. So in this case, let us use OL. OL means ordered list. The default ordered list that we normally have is numerical values. We have ordered list for numerical values, ordered list for Roman values, ordered list for alphabetical values. So we are going to use, and also all of these alphabetical and Roman, we can have lowercase or uppercase. But the default one is normally the ordered, which is numbers, numerical values. So OL. So what you're trying to say here, essentially, if you go back here, you're trying to say OL, this is what I'm trying to create. LI, then I can say something like 7. This is what I'm trying to create. Outside, I'm trying to create OL. This is what you're seeing here. Then inside, I'm going to create LI using a for loop. Just wait and see. So let me remove this. So OL. And then from there, I can be able to come and put my for loop. So I can come and say let x equals to 1. We are starting the list with number 1. You cannot start a list with 0. So logics here, people. Start a list with that. Then you can say x is less than, you want how many? Let us have like 10. Let us have like 10. Then you can have x incrementing by 1. So after creating that for loop, let us now do the code execution. So for the code execution, you just come and put a new one, come and say list item. So the items that you want to be listed, the LI now. So equals document dot create. Don't mind if I'm going faster. The session is being recorded. Don't worry. All is going to be fine. Or is it? Let me see. Yeah, the session is being recorded. I thought I was not recording it. So create element. We are creating an element there. We are calling it LI, just like that. So this is what I was talking about, LI. OLLI. So what I'm trying to say here essentially is trying to show you something like this. LI multiplied by 10. This is what I'm trying to create. 10 items in that ordered list. But these are going to contain something. So we have already done this. As we speak, we have already done this. Let us now put something in here that is dynamic. How do we achieve that? So to achieve that, we are going to come back here. We go to the next line. We say, now for that list item, we now try to create something. So list item, create a context, text content. For this text content, we use backticks because it's dynamic, right? Remember dynamics. So item number, then we put this, you see this guy? But now we put X inside because X is now the dynamic content that you're trying to put there. It can be 1, it can be 2, it can be 10. That is what we're trying to put there. So item number. So for now, you're not going to see them here, but in a short while. So before I add this, let me create a class here. I want my items to have a certain color. So I'm going to say new item. So new item. This new item is going to have a certain color. So this color is going to be, let me find a shouting color here. See, cyan, let us use cyan. Let us use cyan. I think that one will suffice for now. So because we have a color there, let us now try and create a color. Let us now try, you see, we have created here a class. But this class, we want to put it in a list that we don't have already. So how do we do that? So we just come and say list item, not list const, item, dot, we say class list, we check, then we add what? New item. So our class that we are adding to this non-existent list that you are creating is called new item. Now, people, the next line that I'm going to put there is not going to do anything. It's going to just finalize the loop, just to package the loop and put my list on standby. So let me put my list on standby. So I'm going to say shopping list dot append child. So append child, then I'm going to take these items that I've created and put it inside this OL. That's what I'm trying to do here. I'm going to take all of these items that I've just created in this list item. You see, 1 to 10. That list that I've just created, I'm taking them, this LI, I'm putting now inside here. So to put it inside here, one at a time, this is the line 42, it's responsible. So you take this one, you append it inside here. So this one is ordered list. This one is list itself. You can check it from here. You can check it from here. Simple. Now, like I said, doesn't affect anything. Now, this is the moment of the truth. Now, this next line is going to add the list, the container that we don't have. So this container we already have. Here it is. This container, remember? List container. This container, we are trying to bring this OL now and its entirety, we are trying to bring it inside here. So for us to achieve that, we just come and say list container. That is what we have. List container, which is here. We have created it here. We have selected it here. So list container, then we say it is called append child. So we append what? We append the shopping list. People, this is the moment of the truth. Let us see. There you go. That is your list now. Simple. Item 1, item 2, item 3, item 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We can even come and change this one to even 100. Then we can be able to see here how it is changing, how it is morphing. Simple. So we are not done yet with that. You see, apart from doing that, we can also play with this dynamic content that we are creating. We can play with that. So how do we play that? So I want to do something interesting here, which is we have already done create an element. Let us now try to do something called insert another paragraph on top of another. So take this analogy, you have plates. So among the plates, you want to play with that. Like among the plates, you want to put one on top of the another. Among the cups, you want to put one on top of another. Among the tumblers, you want to put one on top of another. So that's what we're trying to achieve here. So we are going to say, so take a paragraph like a plate or a cup among cups. So inserting, I don't know these spellings. I'm very tired, you know. Inserting another, but I'm almost done, another paragraph. At the top. So remember the paragraph that you have right now is where? This is the paragraph that we have. Here are some. So this is the paragraph that you have. So you want this paragraph, you want to put another one before it, like on top of it. Before this one appears, another paragraph starts there. So we use something called prepend, not append. So we come and say, we just come and say const, we come and say top B. Let's say just top note. And then you come and say document dot create element. The element that you're trying to create here is a paragraph, remember people. So we can come and say top note dot give it a content equals to, you put a reminder there. Please do this, do not forget your shopping bag. Just like that. So let us append it. Let us prepend it. Sorry. So for us to prepend it, you just come and say, we are talking about the list container, right? So it's supposed to be coming before this one. So let us prepend it and put it here. So you can come and say, let me think. In fact, we can put it on top of any other thing. So if I can come here and put ID here and say main title, and then I come and say const title document dot get element. Then you're talking about main title. Yeah. So let us see if we can be able to prepend this one. So we can come here and say title dot prepend. Then say top note. Yeah, you see, it is coming before. It is going to come before. It has created a paragraph, but within that realm, what was there is going to recreate it really well, as you can see. So when you say, before the title, put this one. That's what you're talking about. You can come here and change anytime and say, before that one, I want that one to appear. You see, it is coming back again here. Simple. Thumbs up or thumbs down if you are really getting the point of, like, I've really explained it well for you people to understand. Don't worry, I'm going to open the forum now, almost. Let me handle the last part, which is removing element. Then we can open the forum for question. Then we can close the session. Then we can go to bed, right? Now, removing an element. This one is supposed to be number 3. This is number 2. Let us do number 3. So number 3, we are talking about removing an element. Removing an element. So removing this element is sort of not hard, by the way. It is very easy. So we want to remove, in this list that we have created here, let us remove number 10. So number 10 is index number 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So it is index number 9. So let us remove index number 9, such that when we run it again, you're going to see 1 to 9, then starting from 11 without 10. So doing that is very simple. You can just come and say const 10th item. We want to remove the 10th item. Can come and say shopping list dot. We use something called children. We use something called children so that we can go to target. So we want to remove number 9, which is index number 9, which is the 10th one. Then we can come and say 10th item dot remove. Then you run like that, and boom. You can check by yourself. Number 10 is gone. It is not coming back. It is gone. It is gone. Like, that one is the modern way. That is the modern way. The traditional way is whereby you say shopping list dot remove child 10th item. That's how you do it. So it is simple that way. Wait, let me now open the forum. Think now my saliva is now drying up. Let me open the charts. Let me open the Q&A. And then let me open people to raise up their hands. Okay, people, let us talk, let us converse, let us converse, let us converse. And where have I been? Me, I've been around, remember? I'm giving you this perspective out of experience. I'm a software engineer by profession. So can we get the Google link for submit? Please, please, please. I said people should not ask me that. I'm going to consult then. I've extended. Let's say you have just extended the deadline to 24 hours. So tomorrow night, not today. Let me go back to the code people are talking about. Where is the code? Okay. Yeah, where? You can just raise up your hand so that I can select you. You can talk because people chatting here might miss some things. Yeah, loops you can build, but you're not going to use loops entirely. Other things you can raise up your hand so that you can handle parts by parts that you're not understanding. People are not raising up their hands. Are you hearing me? I've enabled raising up of their hands. The repo is going to be shared right now. Let me even commit. Let me commit them right now. Status or this date. Why am I opening Telegram? Okay, let us see these people are raising up their hands. Allowed to talk. Armando. Hello. We are not able to hear you.
Can you hear me now?
And you're echoing back.
Can you hear me?
Not clearly.
Okay. I just wanted to ask about the assignment.
Or the
Which
assignments.
assignment is yeah, was it extended the due date?
Okay. Let me just extend the deadline to about 24 hours from now. Deadline can be tomorrow. Don't worry. I'm going to
Okay.
share. I'm saying that because
Thank you
I
so
was
much.
not aware that there was an assignment. So before I process the link and share it, and some people might be behind, let me just give a leeway of 24 hours from now. Anyway, let me commit evening classes. Don't follow my conventional funny way of committing things. It's very funny here. Let me sign. And then I can say push. Push. What is that? Push. And it is gone. Go and check on the announcement, the link that is there. That is the link that we have been using, but I'm going to share it regardless here. Let me allow Alphonse. Alphonse, talk to us.
Hello. Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Yes. When you talk about the extending of the deadline, what are you talking about? Is it the group assignment?
Yeah, the group assignment.
Okay. I thought maybe
Because
there's another assignment.
I was not privy to that by my colleague. He did not privy me to that, so I'm extending it so that I can process the submission link tonight.
Okay. Okay.
By tomorrow afternoon, you're going to have the link for submission.
Okay. Okay.
Nice. Any other person? Fabian, talk to us. Is there a specialization course going on to be this fast? Yeah, I'm going to be taking you through man-stack development. Personally, I'm going to be taking you. You are supposed to see me in that class, not this one, but we are in the same department with instructor Eddie. So yeah, all in all. Yes, Fabian,
Hello.
you are not audible enough.
Sorry for that. Can you now hear me?
We can hear you.
Okay. Thank you for the lesson. It has been really amazing. I had one question concerning the links and how we are modifying them. So how do we ensure that when modifying the links in JavaScript, they're not accessible to hackers? I heard you talk about that and I just got curious.
So you avoid using in HTML or inner text. You stick to text content. But essentially, you cannot avoid a link to be available. Like, I don't know what you're talking. Maybe what you're talking about is availing this link here not to be available.
You are setting an attribute. Even when you're changing the link for the image, you changed the attribute for that image. So my concern is there a way to guarantee that the links won't be accessible to hackers?
Yeah, you can use a vault. There is a way whereby you can use a vault. It is vaulting. You use vaults to put them under secret, like environment secrets, so that people cannot be able to access them. Essentially, if you see that you have sensitive information floating around on the front end, you try to remove them as much as possible to just leave it blank there. So you use environment variables.
Okay. So my next question is it safe to store the environment variables where you are deploying your site? Like when you're using things like Render or Netlify, they give you places where you can have those environment variables. Is it safe
So
to store them there?
for normal projects, it's safe, but if you're working on a production ready or enterprise projects for big clients that you can see potential for breaches, this system that you can build internally, which are called vaults, whereby it is going to hash of sort of hash or use these cryptographic keys to encrypt these environment variables such that when you upload them to these render sites, they are fully encrypted such that you cannot break them, while the original versions, you have them in your vault. So this vault, only a few people have access to this vault, such that the only thing coming out of that vault is an encrypted value or an environment variable. So that's another way that you can be able to do that.
Okay, thank you.
Nice. Shadrach, evening.
Hello,
Hello,
good evening. Can you hear me?
you can hear you loud and clear.
Okay, I was actually asking about I've heard you're talking about the monster kinda, and I don't know what does it entail, kinda. I don't know.
So Manstack, this is the advancement of web development. Trust me, this is the best specialization that you can pick. Okay, I'm advertising it because yeah, I'm the one who's going to be training you. But this is the best, which I can say, it is the best specialization that you can pick. Why? We have a lot to cover, starting from MongoDB. I know you guys have been taught about SQL and so on, but I'm going to bring you to an environment whereby you're going to really enjoy that. It's called MongoDB. It's an NoSQL database that is just like a cousin to SQL and so on, which is beautiful. I'm going to introduce to Manstack. Manstack stands for MongoDB, Express, React, and Node. So Node.js is a runtime environment for all of this. MongoDB is our database. We can use MongoDB local. We can use MongoDB on the cloud, free of charge. We are going to use Express.js. Express.js is our backend using JavaScript. It's a minimalistic server-side framework for JavaScript. Then we have the best, they call it the BIOS. We have it is called React. But now on top of React, I'm going to be introducing you something called Vite. You see, when you run React normally, it is normally heavy. But when you use Vite React makes it so slick, so fast. and so nice. And then we are going to use JSX. So JSX, the preamble for JSX or TSX is now what you're covering today is called DOM. So JSX is now accessing HTML components inside JavaScript. Then, of course, CSS, or you can choose Tailwind. But if we talk about user interface, trust me, I have a lot of tons of tools that I can be able to share with you. And then, of course, we have to integrate all of them. How do they communicate? What are hooks? What are state variables? How do you do all of this? Then we see how to do real-time communication. You see on WhatsApp, when somebody is typing and you're seeing so-and-so is typing, that is possible because of something called sockets. So we can be able to implement the same exact thing with the minimal technological approach using something called Socket.io. I was to use WebSockets, but WebSockets is a kind of outdated. Socket.io is the future. And then, of course, I'm going to show you how to write unit tests and so on. I know there's a Moodle for that, but for one stack, full stack, we are able to do it ourselves. Then, of course, deployment and DevOps. How do you automate deployment? Like you have done changes, how do you push to GitHub? Then it comes from GitHub directly to deployment and then your final project. I think
Thank
I'm
you.
now preaching.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Alafu, there's something more.
Mm-hmm.
You have been talking about the deployment. For GitHub, does it deploy even the backend?
You can push anything to GitHub, then you can automate the deployment to Render, to Fly.io, to Railways, to Vercel. Yeah.
Yeah. And maybe out of topic, may
Yes.
I ask, there's
Mm-hmm.
this something known as Python Anywhere,
Mm-hmm.
pythonanywhere.com.
Mm-hmm.
So I saw it in a certain project. They actually they deployed the project. So inakuwaga na maybe an expiry date, like kind of some period of time, then it will disappear from the network.
Deploying to any site, apart from just Python everywhere, is it everywhere or anywhere?
Python Anywhere.
Yeah, Python anywhere. So you kind of set your environments to make sure that there's a limit because these people, they charge you. So if it is free, it is not for long. If it is free, it is not for long. So you have to, it is going to get to a point whereby you're going to deplete your credits, then you're going to be charged. Yeah, so it is not entirely free and everything. But what I can say, it is free. It is not for beginners, but it is called Docker. If you want to deploy there for free forever, Docker.
Okay, thank you. Is it really Docker kind of hard to understand, to learn?
No, it is very easy. But now, when you get there, you really need to grind it really, really slowly because Docker on the highest level, it is something that is very complex, very complex.
Thank you.
Nice. Okay, let us handle two more. Amida,
Hi, good evening. Can you hear me?
we can hear you loud and clear.
I was hoping if you could send the WhatsApp link to your group, brother.
Let me do that right now.
Okay. Thank you.
Alphonse,
Okay, so I have heard you are saying you are talking about the last week class on Wednesday. How can I get a link for that? Because
the catch-up
I
class,
don't. Yes.
the catch-up class, just go on week five, under a class recording for week 5. Then check the catch-up for that. You download it, please, because it is not going to be available there for long.
Okay,
Go
thank
here,
you.
you're going to find it right here. So the link is here, the passcode.
Okay, thank you.
Let us talk to Shem.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, we are not able to hear you clearly.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Hello.
Hello?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hello.
We can hear you. We can hear
Can
you.
So
Yes.
I wanted to, if it comes to the final project, are you given a period to hibernate, like to work on the project?
Yeah, absolutely. We give you as much time as possible, but we tend to ask learners to start as early as possible because we have a program that is called a talent hub. We want to onboard you to talent hub, which is there to help you prepare for the work environment. It's a 1 month work preparation period whereby we take people and give them assessment and so on via the talent hub. So guaranteed, just take your time from now, start doing your project ideate. But that is for when you're near after doing the specialization. But for this one as well, start doing the project. As soon as you transition, make sure you've done your project is complete before the transition happens. It's going to be communicated.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Let me get the WhatsApp community. I think you guys have the links. Let us talk to Eric. I think Eric is going to be the last person. Guys, I'm really tired. Then stop share recording.
Hello.
Hello.
Can you hear my name?